When Americans think of German cities, they picture postcard-perfect cobblestone streets and quaint half-timbered houses. But the reality is often much bleaker. The modern urban landscape is flat, anonymous, and overwhelmingly gray. Walk around late at night, and you'll eventually find yourself forced down a shadowy concrete underpass just across the street. The Germans even have a word for this feeling: Angstraum, or a space of fear. How did a culture famous for its historic architecture deliberately engineer such alienating environments? It is easy to blame the devastation of World War II, but the exact shape of these cities is the result of a noble, utopian vision that was systematically dismantled by automobiles and endless red tape. Look at the industrial cities of the early 20th century. With noisy factories and smoky mines dominating the landscape, urban planners were desperate for a retreat from the grime of daily life. The solution arrived in 1919 with the Bauhaus movement. Architects designed minimalist, highly functional domestic spaces. The goal was to provide efficient, comfortable housing for the working class. But subtle and functional did not fit the aesthetic of the rising Nazi regime. They demanded classical pomp and historic grandeur to project state power, so they banned the Bauhaus style entirely and scattered its leading architects across the globe. A few years later, World War II reduced great historic centers like Munich, Hamburg, and Hanover to absolute rubble, leaving architects with an enormous, devastating blank slate. Millions of displaced citizens fled the lost territories in the East, flooding into Western cities exactly as a massive post-war baby boom took hold. This chart illustrates the sheer scale of the crisis. You can see the population spiking dramatically in the post-war years, colliding with a catastrophic housing deficit. By the 1950s, Germany was short 5.5 million apartments. Faced with these staggering numbers, urban planners abandoned the pursuit of beautiful, human-centric design. The objective shifted entirely to immediate mass triage. Cities had to choose how to rebuild. Some, like Munich, opted for an exact historical reconstruction, meticulously restoring their old towns one-to-one to their pre-war splendor. Others took the opposite path. Cities like Hanover rejected anything that could evoke the traumatic Nazi era. They overhauled their layouts entirely, favoring steel, flat concrete roofs, and massive roads designed specifically for cars. To solve the housing crisis, Bauhaus founder Walter Gropius pitched a satellite city made up of modest five-story buildings, bathed in natural light and surrounded by lush parks. The crushing pressure of the housing shortage compromised that vision. Developers stretched modest designs into 30-story behemoths to maximize capacity. The promised gardens vanished. What was meant to be an urban haven became stark, repetitive blocks, leaving tenants isolated. Then came the automobile. As cities modernized, cars claimed a massive amount of space, eating up 15% of Berlin's entire surface area. Pedestrians were pushed out of the sunlight and into those dark underground tunnels. The final obstacle? Bureaucracy. Every German state has a labyrinth of laws regulating everything from noise to stair widths, stacking up to 3,700 construction norms. This red tape drives up costs immensely. To balance budgets, developers fall back on cheap, standardized concrete and glass. These sterile, gray cities are not the result of bad taste. They are the mathematical output of a country trying to house millions of people while chained to a car-centric infrastructure and drowning in regulation. When we call these cities ugly, we're really talking about a sense of alienation. These are spaces devoid of any organic connection to the humans actually living inside them. Modern concrete boxes do have one major saving grace: they are highly energy efficient. As global warming accelerates, building well-insulated housing is a strict necessity. But efficiency doesn't have to look miserable. We can look across the border to see how cities are proving that modern urban planning can actually serve the people. Take Amsterdam. They have systematically prioritized robust bicycle networks and public transit over the automobile, keeping their streets quiet, green, and highly accessible. Or look at Barcelona's superblocks. By merging regular city blocks and restricting car access to the perimeter, they're reclaiming vast stretches of asphalt for public playgrounds and vibrant community spaces. We can have cities that are both affordable and beautiful. We just have to stop building them for cars and building codes and start designing them for human beings.